Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me for a little bit of brain and body flexibility. And I was thinking I really do want to emphasize brain because a lot of this, in my opinion, is brain and body and connecting the two. And it is easier to feel into the body than it is to feel into the heart and the mind. And that is the goal, to use the body to get to those places. We'll begin this morning as we normally do with that diaphragmatic breathing. Today I'd like to begin on all fours again in that table position that we began with yesterday. When you come to table position, you want to make sure that the thighs are roughly parallel, so not too wide and not together. Roughly parallel. The hands just go right in front of the knees. And from here, take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to round through the back, and I'm going to have you pull your navel toward your spine. Now, a little bit different than what we normally do. But the point here is that we're emphasizing this idea that we're feeling into the back. The front, we see it all the time. We're looking at it and everything. The back, we don't think about so much. So as we exhale, use the back as a guide. Can you feel when you exhale yourself pushing your chest back and maybe feeling a stretch through the upper portion of your back, maybe your shoulder blades? Can you feel the ribs coming together and helping you lift through the thoracic spine? And the navel pulling toward the spine, stretching the lumbar spine, and the sacral spine, the very lowest part of the spine, is being stretched by the pelvic floor and the lowest part of the abdominal muscles. So when we inhale, we're just going to relax, just like we always do. When we exhale, we engage as much of the core as we can. And I suggest, again, beginning bottom to top. So inhaling, relaxing pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders, slide them back, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. That's where we're all the way out. No more breath left. Inhale, pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Now continue to do that as fast or slowly as you like. You don't have to follow me. You can if you want to. Just make sure that you're going at a pace where you can make all those check marks in your brain. Shoulder, chest, ribs, stomach, pelvic floor. And then start over again. We're going to continue this for a couple more repetitions because I want you to begin to think about your hands pushing into the floor. And today I'm going to be talking a lot about what I call opposition, this idea, well, holding two different things in mind. Well, wait, she wants me to check through those points in my torso. So I'm going to do my best. But now I'm feeling my wrists are getting a little tired. How do I manage that? Well, you can shift back into your shins a little bit. And a lot of times these things happen. We forget, okay, the wrists hurt. Now I got to stop. And you may have to stop. And there's nothing wrong with stopping. My goal is just this idea of there are things that we do in life that we need to manage. We need to juggle things. And this is just one way of practicing keeping these ideas in mind. I don't like the pain in my wrists. If I stop altogether, then I'm not going to be able to do my stomach work. If I lighten up on my wrists, maybe I could do both. And maybe I can't. Maybe I can't. And that's all there is to it. But I tried. I came up with some options. And then I stopped. So wherever you are, if you're giving your hands a rest, maybe lean back onto your hands. Press into your shins a little harder. We'll do this about 2 more times. And one last time. And then from here, let's just sit back on the heels and let's bring the arms back behind the shoulders by the feet. Allow the lower back to stretch. And now going back to that idea of opposition, we're going to allow the wrists to stretch. I'm going to slide my right knee forward. My left knee is sliding slightly back. And then I'm going to switch. Now, I'm exaggerating moving on the floor. I'm not really going to move them. I just want you to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to slide my right foot up and my left shin, my left shin down. And then switch. Left shin slides up, right shin slides down. And then switch. And then switch. Now, I'm starting to feel myself roll side to side. So I'm going to walk my shins a little further apart so I can stabilize a little bit better. Woo-wee, now I get a little more work in my hips. So now we're moving these feet apart. Can you push the thighs slightly apart as you shift your left knee forward? Push them slightly apart, shift your right knee forward. So we're going to push them slightly apart as we move, relax, and inhale. Exhale, push them slightly apart and move, relax, and inhale. Exhale, push them apart. So again, go at your own pace. You've got a lot of things going on here again. You're moving your shins. You might be thinking, ooh, the tops of my feet are getting a little sore. Can you maybe shift weight forward a little bit? Can you use your hands? And now let's just hold that right shin forward. Push the legs apart and poke your rear end out behind you. Notice how if you pull your hips apart, which means that your rear end is going to get really wide, it might be a little painful. But this is such a huge part of hip stability. We typically walk with our hips rotated toward the back of our body. I'm trying to encourage you to widen your hips. I know. Widen your hips. But feel how much more stability you get. And we'll switch sides here. So whatever side was in front, shift that to the back. And then take another nice deep breath. And as you exhale, we'll gently come to an upright position. We're going to counter that with my head cut off. We're going to counter that with a gentle arch through the back. So we were bending forward, and as we moved, we were shifting the hips and we were pushing them apart. We're going to line them up again, roughly hip width apart. Take a look at your shins. If your feet are sore, turn your toes under. That's fine. Nice deep breath in as we exhale. Press the hips forward. And you don't have to tip your head back. If this makes you dizzy, don't worry about it. If you want to try it, but focus on supporting your head. We don't want to drop the head back like that. It's just not worth it. 20 years ago, I would have just said, go do it, and I'd throw my neck out. I can't do that anymore. So I have my toes turned under. I'm pushing into my toes to push my hips forward. I don't like to lean back into this posture. I don't think most people should be leaning back in this posture because this is what we're trying to do. This is not what we're trying to go for. If your feet are getting sore again, drop the tops of your feet. But again, wherever you are here, you should feel your butt getting really tired. You should feel your shins pushing into the floor. Can you feel your little toe pressing into the floor? What do you need to do to feel your little toe? Your little toe. And can you diaphragmatically breathe now? Inhale, fill the belly. That's awkward in a back bend, isn't it? Exhale, pull the belly toward the spine. Flatten the chest toward the spine. That real stuff was so counterintuitive. It is. On your next inhalation, will come up. And from here, you just have a seat on the heels again. So it is counterintuitive, but that's the only way that we stretch the front of the body. Otherwise, we just crunch through the back of the body. So let's come back into table pose. Hands on the floor again, and we're just going to extend the left leg behind. Now rotate your toes out to the side, and then rotate down toward the floor. Rotate toes out to the side and down to the floor. Now, can you rotate toes toward the midline of the body? That's a lot harder. A couple reasons for that. Number one, you don't have as many large muscles to help you rotate toward the body. What you do have is relatively weak compared to the outer thighs. So now, big toe on the floor, little toe on the floor. From here, we're going to lift. Now rotate again, out and in and out and in. If this is bothering your back, focus again on your breath. Exhale, pull the navel toward the spine. And see if you can level out the leg now. Pull the navel to the spine, level out the leg. Well, my back is hurting. All right, focus on your abdominals. Do your best with your leg and go to your abdominals. One more deep breath in. As we exhale, we'll come down. So again, this idea of opposition. A lot of times we change positions. Oh, well, that hurts my back, so I can't do that anymore. That may be true, and I am never going to deny that perhaps certain movements are bad for some, not so good for some people. However, it does take a little more concentration as well when something's a little more difficult. And my point is just kind of encouraging you to play with what options you have rather than giving up. And that really applies to life too. It applies to, I talk a lot about depression. Extend your leg back. Rotate out. Rotate back. As a matter of fact, drop the leg back down and just do that a couple times on the floor. Rotate your leg to the outside. Rotate your leg to the inside. Outside. Inside. Level it out now. Big toe, little toe. And now we'll lift up. So take a look at the outside line of your left thigh. Is it sinking out to the side? Are you seeing an angle in that thigh? If you are, push into your right hand, push away with your left thigh. So we're going to level out that thigh. We're going to rotate the foot out and in, out and in. We're going to hold the inward rotation. My back hurts. All right, go back to your breathing. Well, my hip's getting tired. Try pushing your knee away with your hand. Nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we'll release. So the point there was just finding different resources that you can use in the face of a challenge. There are a lot of them. From here, I'm going to have you shift your right knee forward. And I'm going to have you, for now, leave your foot near your groin area and extend the left leg backward, because we've been doing a lot of back extension now. So if I lean down onto the forearms, I can exhale, go back to chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Inhale diaphragmatically, pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest. Let's go all the way to shoulders. Exhale, shoulders pull down, chest pulls back, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Inhale. As you exhale now, can you feel yourself pressing into your left thigh? Inhale. As you exhale and you slide your shoulders down and back, you can feel yourself pressing into your elbows and your forearms. These are your resources here. You can use your entire body for this simple position here. And notice how much stronger you feel, how much more powerful you feel, because more of your body is engaged. And again, I go back to the brain-body connection. I feel that when we engage more of the body, it encourages us to engage more of the brain. Less of the brain is left for ruminating, thinking about negative possibilities. Less of the brain is left to escape the present. So wherever you are here, I'm going to come up onto my hands. Now we've stretched through that back left leg. We're going to walk the front foot slightly forward. You don't have to walk. You don't have to bring your knee to a 90-degree angle. Just walk it slightly forward so that when you come up, you feel a little bit of stretch in the right hip. And of course, when you sit up, then the back leg is going to push into the floor. So lean down, go back to your diaphragmatic breathing. Exhale. Inhale, fill belly, ribs, chest, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. When you get down to pelvic floor, pull that left hip forward and sit back into that right hip. So inhale, just relax. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Whoa, I'm a little deeper into that posture. Inhale, just relax, let it all go. Lean to the side if you want. Exhale, engage. Shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. And going back to this idea of opposition, do you notice that your right hip is flexed? So your butt should be poking out on the right. And your left hip is extended. Your butt needs to be pushing down toward the floor. Wait a minute. All right, left hip pushing down, right butt cheek pulling back. A lot to think about. That's how we walk. We walk all day. And we don't even think about these things. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll come back up onto all fours. Again, I want to emphasize there's nothing wrong with not thinking about these things. But thinking about them can be a way of enhancing, I know it's going to sound strange, emotional and mental well-being, as well as body well-being, because when we don't think about them, we tend to compromise the joint movement. We try to use it for something that's not designed to be used for, and that's where we end up getting musculoskeletal pain. Let's slide the left knee forward. And again, we'll just focus on the extended leg. So inhale, exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. And when you get down to the pelvic floor, you might be noticing that you tend to push down into your right thigh a little bit more. Take advantage of that. That's a good thing to notice. You may notice that you push down into your hands a little more firmly. And if you're not doing that, you want to try it, go ahead and do so. I have people tell me that they think my arms look very fit, and I think this is what does it. I don't lift weights. I think that it's just engaging regularly. One more time. Inhale, fill, bottom to top. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. From there, let's go ahead and lean to the left, walk the foot. Again, you don't have to walk it very far, and you don't want to walk it so far that it's painful for you. So now let's start back with that back foot. And you push the little toe toward the floor. So notice your leg wants to rotate out. It's easier for your leg. It's your inner thighs are weaker than your outer thighs. So you may not be able to fix that. I can't fix that all the way. So mine, do my best. Now, again, inhale, fill, pelvic floor, belly, ribs, chest, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Now, when you inhale, you're going to relax everything. Give yourself a break. When we exhale, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. And notice how we almost sort of push the left hip out and push the right hip out. And down. So on the exhale, we're pushing down, and that really helps you stabilize. You can use the floor to open up your hip. And let's come down onto the elbows for a moment here. So inhale, fill, widen, lengthen. Exhale, flatten, contract, engage, ground. Give yourself a break. And each time you inhale, when you let go of the muscles, remember, you're letting go of a contraction. It's like a sponge. New blood comes in. Now we contract. We're going to use the nutrients in the blood on the contraction. It's spent. Now I'm starting to feel that little burning sensation. I let go again because that allows new blood to come in, new nutrition, new resources for me. And so if you want to sit up, you can do that too, or you can stay down, whatever feels comfortable for you. I feel like whatever you can be the most attentive to is where you should be. If you're coming up like this and you're trying to balance and you're trying not to roll over and you can't think about breathing at all, my opinion, but I think you're better off coming back down so that you can engage your mind. One more nice deep breath in. Exhale, engage. And inhale and release. Let's do one more posture here. We'll come into plank for just a moment. So plank, your typical plank is on the feet. So I'm going to encourage you, if your wrists bother you or plank just doesn't work for you on your feet, we're going to come down onto the forearms, and you can bend the knees. You can come up onto the wrists and bend the knees. You can drop your feet or you can come down to the forearms and drop your feet, or you can come all the way up to a full plank, whatever is appropriate for you. Now, wherever you are here, as we exhale, we're going to push down into the hands, shoulders, chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Notice at the pelvic floor, you're going to feel your knees wanting to pull away from your hips. Your knees are reaching down toward your feet. So inhale, pressing down into the hands. Exhale, pressing down into the feet. On the inhalation, again, the opposition, where's it coming from? It's actually coming from the top and the bottom now, instead of the right and the left. So inhale, and notice as you get up toward the chest, you can really press into your hands. Now, pull your chest back and direct all your weight down to your feet. Push into your feet. Inhale into your hands. Exhale into your feet. And we just keep dropping down. One last time in, and as we exhale, we'll gently release. You can come down onto the floor, roll onto your back for final Shavasana. And we did do quite a lot of lower back stuff. If you bend your knees and push your body away from your feet, so I'm pushing my feet into the floor, you're going to feel your shoulders kind of flatten out toward the floor. You're going to feel your back, your lower back flatten out to the floor. Take a few breaths here. Exhale, pull the navel toward the spine, pull the chest toward the spine. And then relax. You can extend your legs. Remember that when we have muscles that flex, we always have antagonistic muscles we have muscles that contract. There are always antagonistic muscles that are stretching at the same time. When we contract the abdominals, we stretch the lower back. So when we don't contract, when we forget about that, and these get soft and weak, these get tighter and tighter. So that stomach, that belly engagement is so important for so many things. When we come down for final Shavasana, we're checking in with the body, feeling the shins, the knees, the thighs, and just trying to find sensations in the body. I actually feel some sensations very, very low in my abdominals. Feel some sensations in my wrists today. You kind of just touch the spaces in your body with your attention, like a wand. Belly, lower back, right side of the lower back, left side of the lower back, shoulders, upper arms, hands, fingers. Oh, just looking for where we find some kind of sensation. And then when we find something, attending to it. And it doesn't have to be pain. It might be just a little fatigue in your stomach. You're thinking, yeah, I got some stomach work in today. So pay attention to it. Or it might be a place of pain. And if you are feeling a place of pain and you're noticing it, I would encourage you to narrow in on it. focus in, find where is the point of pain. I want to fine tune it so much that I could put a pin on it. And then breathe right there. We can do so many things, so much more probably than we think we're capable of. And perhaps just looking into the body like this, noticing all the power you have, noticing how everything feels, or simply noticing, period. Perhaps noticing things that you didn't know were there, noticing resources. These are resources for our physical movements. They can be mental and emotional resources as well. We've come to the end of our time today. Again, bring yourself back from Shavasana gently, mindfully, little bit of movement at a time, and movement that feels good, whatever it is that feels good to you. That's what you need. Roll to one side, give yourself a moment on your side, and then bring yourself back to a sitting position. Thank you for joining me today. As always, I will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. and I will be posting a schedule of some other classes that I'll be featuring next week. So I hope that I'll see you again soon. If you have any comments or anything that you'd like to see, I had a pain in my lower back, something like that, please post them on the YouTube page. I would love to, people have specific concerns. I'd love to try to address them. And if I don't know much, I'm one that loves to look it up. So thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.